Another quick trade recap for the afternoon session. I mentioned in the earlier video that I wasn't looking for anything until at least 2 p.m. And to be honest, I didn't think I'd want to trade anything after 2 p.m. because the last couple Fed meetings we've had have been pretty volatile and undirectional. But I did see that coming over to around 2 o'clock. So the news release was at 2 o'clock. And at 1:30, we had the first presented fair value gap for the afternoon session here. We're on the 5 minute right now. I'll drop down to the one. But at 1:30, we had the first presented fair value gap here. And then come over to 2 o'clock. At 2 o'clock, we took out this swing low right here. I didn't think it was necessary to really go much lower, especially considering this was yesterday's high right here. So we pierced the high while taking out this swing low here. I took an entry. So I'm going to drop down to the 1 minute. I took an entry on the 1 minute chart after we came above the first presented fair value gap for the afternoon. And we closed. Here's the AM. We closed above the first presented fair value gap for this morning. So I looked for the first PD array that I liked, which was this order block. It actually failed. And we can see here the reason why that failed is because we were going into some time distortion, consolidation, whatever you want to call it. We were going into that. So took this entry, immediately stopped out, and I moved up to the higher time frame because if that's happening on the lower time frame, what we need to do is work up to the higher time frame with something that we can trust. So I came up to the 5 minute, saw the order block here form. I got in a little late. I wanted to get in down here, but I wanted to make sure it was an order block forming. So took that entry here. That just closed out. I still had one contract on. So I took the entry here, and then I'll move back up to, or back down to the 1 minute. But we took this on the 5 minute here, and we consolidated a little longer on the 5. This was a long time actually, so we'll drop back down to the 1. That's the time. 1 minute here. So after taking that entry, we consolidated here for a while. So took this 219. We consolidated until about 250. So we got the 250 to 310 macro here, and I'm sure that ran us above something. So let's zoom out. So let's see, 310. Yep, so 310 macro brought us inside of this order block from earlier on today. So we had validated that. And as soon as we started to get up to there, I started to get rid of the contracts. And then once we pierced it, I wanted to come inside of this, which I believe was like 141.25, 141.75. Once we got in there, I took one more contract off and just wrote the last one out until about a minute ago when that just closed. So not the longest, not the most amount of pips, but we did capture 20 on the first couple contracts, 20 handles. I think about 20 handles across all contracts. We did kind of slow down once we got above this order block, and more specifically, we traded into this inversion fair value gap, which is the one that sent us lower this morning. We traded into the lowest quadrant here. So let me actually just put this on here. It's not going to be super accurate because I'm not really measuring it, but I'm just doing it for the effect. We can see we traded into the lowest quadrant and then we came out of there. So That's pretty much what I was thinking there for this trade. Was looking for an order block on the one, got stopped out, so I moved up to a higher time frame because price was consolidating. Took an entry again on the 5 minute time frame, waited about an hour for price to open up, and then we traded about 20 handles higher before I got rid of most contracts, and just barely into this inversion fair value gaps, lowest quadrant, and then we came back out. Again, I think for the coming days, we're going to see higher for longer, especially considering Sunday we gapped higher. We traded lower on Sunday into Monday, so it went below that new week opening gap, and the higher time frame is buy side delivery. So I do think we continue higher. And I think it's also possible that tonight, once we open at 6 o'clock, we just start to go ahead, coming higher than this. But that was it for this one. As always, good luck, good trading, be safe.